Hey, it's Larry Sharp here on an amazing Thursday evening, talking to you about the Libertarian Party, Libertarian movement, and about what we're doing. Talking to you about some of the more important things that are happening coming up here real soon. The Dem and Repubs, both of them, the primary, the debates, what's happening. When you look at the Democratic Party debates right now, there's a big issue, in my eyes at least. Some of the most interesting candidates that they have are in trouble, right? They have three, in my view, three very interesting candidates. They've got Yang, Gabbard, and Williamson. These are the most interesting. Not saying I support any of them. I'm saying they're the most interesting. All the rest are ho-hum Democrats. But these three are interesting. And it looks like Gabbard and Williamson may be struggling. So if you guys care about those two, you might want to help them out. Yang is in, which is great. He's still rocking and rolling, which means now hopefully we'll have at least some interesting things happening in the Democratic debates. But what about those who leave, right? What if we lose Williamson, Gabbard? We've already lost a bunch of others. I've forgotten which ones we're losing. We're losing even more Democrats. And you might say, well, I don't care, Larry. I'm not a Democrat. I don't care. Maybe you don't care. I got it. But here's something you have to understand. All those people who are supporting those Democrats who are going to start dropping out in the next 15, 20, days, in the next, month or two, they're going to need a home. Now, they have a couple of options. Option one, they can still stand behind their guy or gal, hope they push through without the debates. Probably not going to happen, but they can hope. That's option one. Option two, right? They can go to someone else within the Democratic Party. Possible. But the interesting ones, right? Yang, Gabbard, and Williamson, those are interesting Democrats. The Democrats who support them aren't traditional. So it's going to be harder for them to find a Democrat that they can be happy with. The other option is they can stay home and forget about it, scratch everything, just go home and not care. A lot of people after Bernie got booted in 2016 did that, right? But the other option is maybe they can come to us. Maybe we can open our arms to these people to bring them aboard, right? Michael immediately puts out, Yang wants to prosecute Assange. Just saying, I don't give a shit. Stop with the one thing that's bad. Mitchell, it's one thing that's bad. I got it. There's a thing that's bad. I got it. There's a couple things that are good. And if Yang is bad, awesome. Let him go. Let's get his supporters. How about that? Yang can go. That's okay. But his supporters may not care about Assange either way. I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with just being 80% libertarian with their supporters. Bring them to us. If they're unhappy people who are behind Yang, and if Yang gets booted in the next 6 months or whatever, if his people want to come to us, come on in. The last thing I want to say to a Yang supporter is, your guy wants to prosecute Assange. No, don't say that, even if it's true. Just say, hey, Yang was interesting. He was talking about real issues. You know what? Libertarians talk about real issues too. How about coming to us? Chat with us, and we'll convince you that you shouldn't prosecute Assange. How about that, Mitchell? Can we do that? I'm in. Let's bring the people aboard. Let's do that, right? Gabbard, Williamson, they want some stuff that we don't want either. I get it. No worries. But if they lose coming up here, we can take the supporters. We can be a home for them to come to us. And again, they're going to have little things that we can always say, this is bad or that is bad. I got it. So what? Bring them in anyway. We can convince them of the right path. See that? The glory about our movement is we can accept you. You can come on in. So let's look at that. If you know people right now, if you're out there right now and you know people who are either Gabbard supporters, Williamson supporters, Yang supporters, if they're doing well, awesome. Don't bug them. Be happy that they've got some special Democrats to care about. Good for you. Awesome. If they get booted out of the race and they lose, this is our time for us to start opening up to them, saying, hey, we're here too. Why don't we start talking about stuff that matters, right? Why don't we chat about that? How about we do that? I think this is the right answer. Brad brings up, that's about real issues coming at us. What's your thoughts on autonomous trucks? They're coming, Brad. It doesn't matter what you think or I think or anyone thinks. They are absolutely coming. Now, does that mean people are going to lose jobs? Yes, which is why Yang is talking about real issues. The real issue is automation. It's not just going to put truckers out of work. It is, but it's also going to put a bunch of other people out of work too. And that is, look, retail stores are closing all day long. Look, and we're going off topic, but Brad, I want to make sure you know that I heard you. Retail malls. If you go back 15 years, 20 years, every retail mall was actually somehow in some shape anchored by a major department store, like a Bloomingdale's or a Macy's or a Sears or something like that. Not anymore. What's the anchor? The anchor is some type of entertainment experience, like a Dave and Buster's or a playground or something like that. Things are changing, Brad. It's the way it is. And absolutely not. I'm not going to have a law to keep them out of our state because the others is going to have them come in. So now I'm going to make sure that they can't come into our state. I'm going to crush our state as the other states do it. No, not at all. Here's what we have to do. We've got to make sure that we actually have drivers knowing that this is going to happen, an actual plan to move them forward to whatever the next step is. That's the answer. The answer is not trying to fight technology. That New York's been doing that for years, and it's been failing like there's no tomorrow, right? We try to fight marijuana, cannabis, bad idea. Try to fight Bitcoin, bit licensing, bad idea. Has only hurt our state. If we fight autonomous vehicles, it is going to make things worse. Instead, embrace them. And more importantly, how about having the truck drivers have a say on how they come on our roads? Why aren't truck drivers deciding what's the right way? What are the right rules? What are the right answers? They don't do that. Instead, what government does is go, oh, well, there's a big dollar, there's a big check that comes my way from this company that makes autonomous trucks. Go. That's all they do. You've heard me say this, right? If you paid attention, I say this about corrections officers. I say this about teachers. I say about truck drivers. The goal is not to fight it, but to use the people on the ground to make sure it works well. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to achieve. And look, to be forward with you, I used to be a driver. I started a trucking company years ago. I should drive a 20-foot box truck, not a big rig. I didn't drive a big rig. I drove a 20-foot box truck for several years in New York City. So I know how that is. It's a tough job to have. And Brad, if you're telling me there needs to be a driver in a seat, then maybe there should be an A driver. I don't know. But guys like you do. And when I'm governor, or if I'm helping people out as someone else's governor, or if people are asking what I think, I'm going to say, get guys like Brad involved. Get them to figure out what the right answers are. But no, I'm not going to pass a law banning stuff. I'm a libertarian. It's not what I do, Brad. You've asked me to do too much. So I hope I at least answered your question. That may not have been the best answer for you, but I want to tell you the truth. So my point here being, when these people start dropping in Democratic primaries, it's time now for us to start talking to them. That's what I want us to start doing. Garrett asked, what happens if those in power choose who to speak to, therefore influencing public opinion by manipulating what is shown? That's the norm. Yes, Garrett, I wish that wasn't the norm. The norm is we talk to people. Yeah, the 6 lobbyists that showed up at our office. That is the norm. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for our norm to be the people on the ground. If I want to fix education, I've got to talk to teachers, not consultants that come from the teachers union. That's not what I need to talk to. I need to talk to the actual teachers. In the case of Brad, a truck driver, I've got to talk to actual truck drivers. Right? In the case of prisons, I've got to talk to actual corrections officers. I've got to speak to the people on the ground. So Garrett, I like what you said, and you're right. That's the norm. Let's break that norm. Let's, instead of having the experts only, I'm not against experts, but let's also make sure that people on the ground are actually being talked to and being heard. That's the most important piece. I hope I answered your question, Garrett. So Brandon's asking, what's my take on Lincoln Chaffee? If Lincoln Chaffee wants to come to the Libertarian Party, bring him on in. Happy to have him. Bring his people. Bring them all in. I am the biggest open tent there possibly is. Is he the perfect libertarian? Not even close. Is he libertarian-ish? Yes, he is. And can we have more conversations with him? 100%. Let's bring him in. Let's talk to him. Let's let him promote us. Let his followers come to us also. Absolutely. Right? Happy to have him aboard, Brandon. He wants to come in. I'm in. I'm on board. In fact, maybe I'll have him on my radio show on top of it. Totally happy to hear that. So yes, Garrett brings up, Would that mean creating a database of interviews? I am so happy to hear anyone talk about technology helping to make things work, like databases or open source or any of those things. So to answer your question, Garrett, yes, 100%. Love the idea. Love the concept of everyone being able to see what people are talking about. So thank you, Garrett, for that. Yes. All right. Let me keep moving on here if I could. The second piece I wanted to bring up, besides the debates which are coming up, and for us to look to gather those people, is also to think about the concept of the battleground states in general. You find a lot of people are saying states like, Ohio and Florida and Michigan are battleground states. If you know people in those states, if they're battleground states, if that's true, why aren't we, as the Liberty Movement, spending time there? Right? They're probably being overwhelmed. They're probably being attacked by everybody saying how important they are. We could spend some time there too. Think about it. I'll go with just New York State as an example. New York State, if you had 10 libertarians in New York State Senate, we would run the Senate. We become a swing vote. So in any battleground state, when I say battleground state, I mean a state that whether we don't know if the Dems, Republicans are going to win in 2020, right? That's what I mean by battleground state. If we could get them in there, oh my God, we can make real impact. We could be the ones who turn the tide either way, or make sure maybe one of us gets in at 30% or something like that, right? I mean, there's a chance for us to make impact on battleground states, traditional battleground states. Sometimes these states become battleground states because the people there start thinking, why bother? I'm not sure. I'm stuck. I don't know. If that's true, awesome. Why can't we be there? You feel abandoned? Here we are. You feel stuck? Here's an answer. I'm tired of left and right. Here I am. I don't trust anybody. I'm here. Let's make sure that we're there for those people in those battleground states. If you know people there, do that. Aaron's asking if I'm going to the New York State Fair. Not this year, Aaron. I'm sorry. I was going to. I can't this year. I got stuff going on here in New York I got to deal with. Remember, I just did a couple trips upstate. I got to spend time here, try to make money for my own family and do stuff here. I need family time. So I appreciate the offer at the fair. I will not be there this year in New York State Fair. Maybe next year. But I'm still doing my full sharp. I'm still going to hit all 62 counties in New York State this year. Why do I bring that up again? I know you keep hearing me bring this up, that I'm going to cover all 62 states, 62 counties in New York State. And the reason why I keep bringing this up is I don't want people to feel abandoned. Like I just said, people often feel abandoned. In upstate New York, and I'm sure this is true in many rural areas, sometimes only 30% of the population votes. 30% of those eligible to vote. Only 30% vote. It means they've given up. I go there because every single New Yorker matters. Everyone. Whether you're in Hamilton County or Brooklyn. Hamilton's our smallest county, 5,000 people. Brooklyn's our biggest, 2.3 million. I don't care what county you live in. You matter. You're important. Your vote matters. And more important than all of that, your rights matter. Regardless, they all matter. I show up because I want you to realize you matter. It doesn't matter where you live in my state. I wish more people would think that way when it comes to running the country. Everyone matters. All our rights matter. It's important. That's why I'm traveling. And guys, if you like this message, I'm doing my best to model the behavior that I want from others. I'm doing my best to be able to say, look, I'm doing this so others can too. I want you to follow my example. And if you're not going to run, then expect my example from others. Please do that. Expect that from others trying to get around to make this happen. We can do this. If I go everywhere, others can too. You want me to keep doing this? You think it's important? I have an idea. Help me out. Support me. Head over to larrysharp.com/donate. Throw me a couple bucks so I can get back up there again. You want me to get back out there again? I will. You have to support me. It's time for you to help me out also. You know I'm doing it. I'm dropping my own money, my own time. To the best of my ability, I'm still doing this. And I'm not even running for anything. I'm just trying to help others. So we are going to have to work together to make this happen. Head over to larrysharp.com/donate. Throw a couple bucks in the donation. Monthly is always best. If you can't do a big chunk, 10, 15, 20 bucks a month is fine. If you're in a spot where you get a big bonus, you can drop a couple $100, do that. If you can't do that, no worries. A couple bucks a month is still fine. Please help out and support. Now, Craig brings up, how about the Republicans talking about they're going to be beating Andrew in 2022? Wow, that's ignorant. For anyone to believe that a Republican can beat Andrew Cuomo in 2022 is to just live in a fantasy world. The state is getting bluer, not redder. The Republicans are a disaster statewide. Don't get me wrong. Locally, Republicans do some good work. Locally, Republicans get elected. That absolutely does happen locally. I'm talking statewide. Disaster. I don't care what is it. Nick is the guy. Nick Langworthy is the guy who's in charge of Republicans now. He's talking trash. He's going to recruit good people. No, he's not. No, he's not. No one's going to do that damn job. They have no chance of victory. 103,000 New Yorkers are leaving every single year, and most of them are Republicans. And you're telling me you're going to win? By the time 2022 comes around, the state's going to be 3-1 Democrats Republican. You think you're going to win an election? Republicans haven't won an election in New York State statewide in 17 years. And Nick's going to make it happen with magic in 3 years. Stop. Stop those lies. Stop that fantasy. At one point, to be clear, New York, at one point, it's your fault for believing it. How many times are you going to believe that lie? Right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 6 times. What's that one? I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what that is. Fool me 6 times, put me in a mental institution. Is that what it is? Insane. Not going to happen. The only shot of getting rid of Andrew Cuomo, this is for you New Yorkers out there, the only shot of making this happen is if a libertarian wins. That's it. There is no other chance. That's all. Conservatives broken. Greens aren't going to do it either. Not going to happen. Why? Because libertarians are the only people in this state who can get both Democrats and Republicans to vote for them, plus independents, plus libertarians. Only ones. If you like what Cuomo's doing, vote for him. Good for you. I don't know why you're on this live feed. I don't know why you're listening to me if you think he's great. If you don't think he's great, the only chance of getting rid of him is supporting our movement. 62 counties that I'm going to. Building up the actual infrastructure that we need for a victory in 2022. How do we do that? Support me. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Throw some bucks in there. Let's make this happen. All right. So Garrett also asked, would an electronic ground game be in your list of things to build? Yes, Garrett, I don't know if you were paying attention. That was my whole thing, right? To win an election, a little bit off topic, but to win an election, there are 4 different arenas you have to win on. Social media, electronic, as you mentioned, right? Social media, traditional media, events, and then polls / debates, because they go together. Polls and debates often go together, right? Those are the 4 things you have to win on. Traditional media, I struggled. I did not win traditional media at all. It was hard for me to get. I lost that one. Events, I lost that too. I needed to get thousands of people in my events. I was only able to get hundreds. And obviously I wasn't in polls or debates, so I lost those 3. So obviously I couldn't win the election, losing those 3. But I did win social media, which is nice. People say social media is not enough. It's not. Social media is important. It's one of the 4. It's just not enough on its own. So Garrett, yes, already doing it. Still working on the social media, and it is working. It's better than it's ever been. It's still happening now. Still good. I just need to be better. So Justin says, how do you think libertarians get a reputation of not caring about people? This is a big one, and this is our fault. Thank you for that, Justin. Justin asked that question. How can libertarians shed that? And it's what I hope I'm doing. I am bringing up that libertarianism is not about liberty or freedom. It's about happiness. Bring that up. How do you become happy? Well, more liberty, more freedom, less taxes, less government. That's how you become happy, right? The idea of the pursuit of happiness is in our founding documents. That's what we should be thinking about. Libertarian Party is the only party that talks about that. So stop talking about don't tread on me. Instead, don't tread on anyone. That's how, Justin, by changing our message. You never hear me talk about, get off my lawn. I never talk about that. In fact, to be forward, I never even talk about property rights. I never talk about that. I talk about people being happy to have their own property, which means property rights. I don't say that stuff, though. When you start talking about property rights and natural rights, people just hear, I'm selfish. That's all they hear. When you talk about abolish that, all they hear is, I'm selfish. I don't want to pay for it. That's all they hear. Well, if they hear I'm selfish all day long, they're going to think we're selfish. If instead you say things like, why don't we provide other options so that people get better services with less taxes for others? Oh, wow. Yes. You change the messaging. That's how we do it. Now, luckily in New York State, I've been pretty good at it, right? I've been good at it. And often most people think about the Libertarian Party in New York State with my message, which I'm glad that tends to be true. We need more people doing it, which is another reason why I'm crossing the state. Reason why I'm doing it, Justin, I'm crossing the state because I want to make sure absolutely that other people see what I'm doing, begin to copy, and speak that way. If they start doing it, we start winning, right? We got people running in New York State. We got Dwayne Whitmer, we got Chase Takash, we got Garrett Kane, we got Katie Martin. We got people who are running. They're out there doing it, right? We got Jim Patel, we got him running. We got lots of people running out there. And they're following that same concept in their own words, obviously, for their own people, but they're following ideas of here's how people's lives can be better. Justin, you talk that way, you will find that goes away. It doesn't happen overnight. There's the problem. We still have a lot of people in our party who are jerks, who just so mad from losing for so long. They just want to fight and they get angry, right? Rich Patel is rocking it. Thank you, Carrie Bittner. Yes, absolutely. You know, we have to change that. And it takes time. I wish it was 5 seconds, Justin. It's not. It's years. It's years. So Watson asks, no clue if you answer this, but how do you feel about Andrew Yang? I think, as I mentioned, Yang, Gabbard, and Williamson are all the most interesting people the Dems have. You know, people who are supporting them are people who might come to us. So to be clear, Wyatt, I think we should be keeping our eyes on all these people and their supporters. I think they are easy pickings for us to come to our movement. I think I like about Yang is that he's talking about real problems. What Brad was talking about, right? The idea of automation coming and dealing in havoc with truckers and retail and everything else in our life. AI is tearing up finance and all those things. So I'm glad he's speaking about real issues, but I don't like his solution of UBI. I'm not a big fan of UBI. I hope I answered your question. Aren't libertarians against taxes? How do you pay the freedom dividend? Yang's plan just drives inflation. Yes, I tend to agree with you, Miss Analytical Chick. Your name. I'm totally. I am on point. So yes, good. All right. Let's see. Education to be revamped, like Larry said, absolutely true. And privatization. We don't want to use the phrase privatization because when people hear privatization, what do they hear? Big business takes over. That's not always true at all. And if I'm running things, that's absolutely not true. But that's what they think. So I think we want to move away from that phrase. All right. I hope I answered a bunch of your questions. I want to keep going. I talked about battleground states. I talked about the Dems and the debates and people dropping out and us grabbing those people. Let's still do that. Talk about me covering the entire state. Help me do that. LarrySharp.com/donate. Help me. But something else. Why should you care if New York State does well or not? If you live in New York State. Or if you're leaving New York State, you're moving away from New York State, like so many are. Why should you care? Because the real battleground states are not Pennsylvania or Michigan or Florida. They're New York and California. Because that is where the government is pushing itself as fast as it possibly can on us. That's where it's putting most of its pressure on those two states, New York, California. And the rest of the country decides how far they can go based upon these two states. Now, California doesn't have me. Sorry, California, you don't have me. New York does have me. So New York becomes the critical battleground state where you have a Marine who's literally prepared to fight in the front line and to actually be the guy in the front to make this stuff happen. So you've got that. New York State's a battleground state. If we hold them here, we can hold them anyplace. If we beat them here, we can change the entire nation. If we have impact here, we can win any place. This is what I'm telling you. New York matters more than Florida. I love you, Florida. New York's more important right now. Sorry. More than Pennsylvania. More than Michigan. I love all you guys. New York's more important right now. Sorry, it just is. This is the vanguard. This is ground zero. You think I'm making this up? Trump's from New York, Queens, just like me. AOC is from New York, Bronx, where I was raised as a kid. Bernie's from New York. Yes, they're all from New York. I'm in ground zero, guys. Ground zero. Here it is. We're pumping them out. De Blasio, coming out of here. They're all in New York. This is the place. This is ground zero. This is the place where we can start the fight. So you should care. So even if you're not in New York, still support me. We can build this whole thing out. Right? LarrySharpe.com/donate. Go now. Support the front line. I'm in the front lines. Support me here. That's where everything's happening, right here. All right. Why does it matter for 2020? It matters for 2020 because if we can make any impact here in 2020, remember, New York State is ranked literally the least free state in the entire nation. If we get a significant libertarian push in New York State, it gives hope to every state. To every state. Not just that. If we can make impact here, right, real impact here, then the people who are trained here will help in other states. Yeah, this can work, guys. This can absolutely work. Terry asked if I've considered running for the chair of the LP. I have considered. People are asking, but I've considered it. I've not made a decision either way. The biggest issue I have with running for chair, just those of you guys who care about the chair, the national chair of the Libertarian Party, for those of you who care, the biggest issue I have is it should not be an unpaid part-time job. It just shouldn't be. And there's no way the party can afford to pay for a full-time chair. It's just not realistic. It can't happen. It's not realistic. I get that completely. So I have to be sustainable on my own so that I could basically do it on a full-time basis without having to have the LP pay for it. Now, once I was chair, if I was doing it full-time, I could easily raise enough money and raise enough influence, be in the press, get more donors, so that eventually, once I left, it could become a full-time paid position. But I realize that right now that's not realistic. We don't have the budget for it. So you may know, some of you paying attention. Thank you for bringing this up, Terry. It's like you're my plant, you're my ringer. This is why I'm doing the Sharp way, right? The radio show, the live call-in show, which by the way starts next Monday, the 26th at 8 p.m. I will be having Howie Hawkins, the Green Party presidential candidate, will be my guest live for 2 hours. Go to sharpway.com for that. I'm doing that because if that begins to take off to where that can be sustainable on its own, then I can easily run for chair and I can make it a full-time job. I can transform the national LP to be what it should be, but what it can't be without a full-time chair. And it just isn't there right now. I hope I answered your question, Cherry. So thank you. All right. If I can keep going on. Yes, AOC is my congressperson. That is true. I accept your condolences. However, again, it just proves that I am here in the belly of the beast. So let's see. Someone says I should run against AOC. No. Thank you for that, but no. People ask me this all the time. Won't you run for something? Run for something else. You could win this. You could win that. The goal isn't for me to win something. If that were the case, I'd just move to the town that I got the most votes in upstate New York, probably in North Country, where I got like 30% of the vote in certain places. I'll go there, campaign, and be their mayor because they love me, obviously. I got 30% of the vote there. I could win something. That isn't the goal, to win something. The goal is to make impact. What I did last year with the help of so many of you, you gave me your time, your money, your energy. You showed up when you needed to show up. Thank you so much. We made impact in New York State. That was worth it. If I run for Congress against AOC, I'm going to ask you all for money and time again, like I'm asking you now. I'm going to do even more. I'll be bugging you every day for money, every day for time. I'm going to have you guys come down to New York City to raise signs for me, take up all your time and energy, and I'm going to lose and make no impact. I will have thrown your money away. The problem that we have in our movement is too many people want to run to win something or try something. Then they make no impact. They simply run and get like, I got 6% of the vote or 10% of the vote. So what? Nobody cares. You're forgotten. Zero value. No impact. Nobody cares. And now what happens? All those donors say, why'd I give money to these people? I'm going to stop. That was the biggest issue I dealt with. The heavy hitter donors kept saying, why would I give to you, Larry? I've been burned so many times. Why would I give you any money again? So many times I give money to people and they don't do anything. No, I want to make sure that when I bug you for money, that when I bug you for time, when I say, guys, get up, get down here, do this for me, I need you, that I make impact, that you say it's worth it, that you see it is an actual investment. Look, for those of you who don't know, when I started my campaign, I literally wrote myself a check for $10,000. Why? Because I asked you for money all the time. How can I ask you for money if I can't put my own skin in the game? I took a year and a half off from my work and I did not get a salary for a year and a half. Imagine you doing that. Where would your finances be? That's where mine are now. Of course I did that. I'm asking you, I must do it. So I want to make sure that when I'm done running, that every one of you who gave me time, money, energy, your vote, who showed up, who raised signs, say to yourself, worth it. Yes, I'm glad I did it. Impact. Yes, I want to see that. I don't want to smack some Democrat or Republican and say, see, I smacked them, yay. No, I want lasting impact. And I don't believe, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't believe a run against AOC will have any lasting impact. I think the media will ignore me. I think I won't raise enough money. I think I won't make much. I think it won't work. That's why I won't do it. But if I thought it would, I would do it. Now, would I consider running in 2022 for governor again? Absolutely, I would consider that, of course. Because again, we get ballot access again, grow the state again. Absolutely. 100% I would. I would absolutely do that. Because that makes impact. And then in 2021, when I start running and I ask you guys for money and time, yes, because it makes sense. That's what I want. But prior to that, I believe that instead of running against AOC, I will make more impact by crossing the state, by building out a Libertarian Party organization in every single county before we get to 2022, so that when I get to every county, there are volunteers there, supporters there, skilled people there to make sure we get the word out, that our events are amazing, that we can get press, that all of a sudden we can rock and roll and maybe win this thing in 2022. But more importantly, even than that, well, that's critical. Also, me supporting other candidates. You see me do it on my Facebook page. You see me show up and do events. You see me try to raise money for them. You see me help them out. They call me. I give them advice. A lot of my team from the couple years ago is now up there, right? They're on the ones up there. They're now up there helping others. As I mentioned, Dwayne, Garrett, Katie, Chase, all of them, helping them out there. Rich, helping everybody else out there doing that. If they start winning, even the local level, they start winning, now all of a sudden, people say, wait a minute, Libertarians win. Deborah Altman already won. Libertarians can win. Libertarians can make impact. Libertarians can actually be in power, and the world doesn't end. Oh my God, things can get better. Things can actually change. It can happen. A couple of those people happened before 2022. Now, if I'm running again, they're all now supporting me. I've supported them for 2-3 years. Now they can support me for 2 years in my run. This is how parties should work. This is what a movement should be about. I've told you before, and those who've been paying attention, that this was about more than just me. Now, all politicians say that. They all say that. And then as soon as the election's over, they walk away, go back home. I'm trying my best to practice what I preach. I'm just human. I become a hypocrite like anybody else does. Emotions make us hypocrites. I try to not be a hypocrite, and I try to practice what I preach. And part of that is not just going, well, I'm not running, so I'm going to stay home and hang out. It's I'm not running, but others are. I need to grow other people, not just me. I don't want 2022, 2020, 2024 to be, it's the Larry Sharpe Show again. I want it to be, it's the Hour Show again. It's the New York State Libertarian Party show. It's the Liberty Movement show with Larry Sharpe. I want to be there. I don't, when you guys give me the boot, I want to be there, but it's got to be us. It can't just be me. And I'm trying my best to practice what I preach to show you that it matters. And I'm asking you to keep helping me to do that. Please help me to keep doing that. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Give whatever you can give. If you're in this position where you can give a couple $100, do it if you can, if that's where you are. If you're not, give less. If you're saying, Larry, I can't really do much at all, great. $3 a month, fine. $5 a month, fine. Every little bit counts. We do one of those trips, it's $1,000. I want to do at least one a month if I can, so I can hit 3, 4, 5. The last trip we did, if you were paying attention, I did 11 stops in 5 days. Yeah, I hit 11 different counties. 11 stops. Oh, was it 5 or 4 days? 5 days. 11 stops in 5 days. Or was it 4 days? I've actually forgot. Anyway, I was on the road the whole time, and many of you drove me. Thank you. You helped me out. You hooked me up tremendously. Thank you for that. But again, this is for impact. It is for real change. Guys, think about 2020 for a second. How are we going to be there when the chips hit the ground? What do I mean by that? When all of a sudden it's over, whether Trump wins or Trump loses, whatever the outcome is, right? Biden wins or whatever happens, half of our country is going to say it's rigged. If Trump wins again, Democrats will be like, it's rigged, it's the Russians. Of course they are. If Biden wins, assuming he's their nominee, Trump's going to say, oh, it was deep state, whatever, it's Russians, whatever. No matter what happens, half of our country is going to believe that our president is illegitimate. That's a problem. That's a problem. When those people feel that and they think the system is rigged and they think everything is broken and they think nothing has any value, they have a couple of options. They can surrender and just walk away, and many will. We'll have more apathy. They won't care. That will happen. I don't want that, but some people do that. Others will be like, that's it. We're going to fight and whatever. Some will double down on their guy. No, if only my guy had won. And they'll want to go back to their old guy, whatever the case may be. But some will be open to come to us. We have to be ready. If we don't have organization, to Justin's point, if we don't have good messaging, if we don't have an open arms, if we're not ready to bring them in, if we're going to fight them and go, you're not good enough, we're just going to push them away. We have to make sure that we're available and that we can actually push our agenda forward with open arms, not with closed fists. It's important that we do that. We can do that. Help me do that. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Give whatever you can give. I don't know who this is, but he says, Yo Sharp, Beatles or Stones? I guess it's a question. I'm going to go with Stones. So I like the Beatles, but I am much more of a Paint It Black type guy than I am She Loves You, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I hope that answers that. So someone else says America needs like 5 or so parties, not 2. I would love 5. Just give me 3. We can get 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, just give me 3 first. We'll take as many as we can get. I totally agree. When you have only 2 parties, immediately it becomes us versus them, black and white. Nuance goes away. He's more evil than I am. She's more evil than I am. Nothing gets done. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper. You are correct. 5 is wonderful. I would just take 3. 3 is enough. Then we can keep moving. That's all I'm talking about. So yes, guys, I want to say thank you so much for this evening. Please, if you like what I'm saying, if you think that we can be ready for 2020, for 2022, if we can support New York, if we can support the rest of the nation, support me getting around this state. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Give what you can give if it matters. If you're seeing impact, note, I'm still here. The other people are gone. I'm still here. I'm still talking the talk, walking the walk, meeting people, doing one-on-one, answering literally questions that you ask me right here. I'm still doing it. I'm still talking. I'm still getting the press. Still happening. I'm still doing it. It's not done. Show me someone else doing that. Not in New York. Not in the battleground. Not in the belly of the beast. Not in the front line. That's the guy you're looking at right now. I'm happy to keep doing it. I'm the Marine. I'll stay in the front line. You got to give me support. You got to give me the support. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Give what you can give. Monthly is always best because we can prepare. We know what's happening every month. Guys, thank you so much. Good seeing you tonight. Let's stay connected. Talk to you all soon.